watched so many videos about people talking about their bucket list and stuff they want to do in their life, and I have a lot of goals, I have a lot of things I want to accomplish, but I've never actually made a bucket list. So here we are. If you guys haven't noticed, I'm a little bit of a fan of traveling. Past couple of years especially, I've really gotten out of my comfort zone, explored a lot of places, and that's still really high on my bucket list. I don't know exactly where I want to travel to. I know there are some places in Europe I want to see still, plenty of places in my own country, in the US, Canada. I don't think any amount of traveling I do in my lifetime will ever make me completely satisfied, which is not a bad thing. I also really want to be professionally published. And by this, I don't mean I'm rejecting self-publishing, but just one of the things that I want, even if I also do self-publishing and other types of things, I want to be professionally published by a publishing company. This is something that I've really struggled with recently because I've been extremely overwhelmed. There's been a lot of other things happening in my life and other things just pushing me away from writing as far as time. There are things that are much more demanding and that have to be done a lot sooner and are a lot more pressing and important for me right now than writing, and that's really slowed me down. But as I gradually get these things tackled and get these things out of the way, then I do plan on returning to writing. I've done some, obviously I haven't quit completely, but it's just been a lot less and a lot less regular than I used to and than I really want to be. Another thing is I want to own a dog. This seems kind of silly to even put on a bucket list as something that I don't want to die without having done, but honestly, I want a puppy. I don't know when in my life I'll ever be settled enough to actually own a dog and properly take care of it, but someday I am going to, I swear, and it's gonna be fantastic. I also want to learn at least 2 second languages. Right now I'm working on Spanish, and honestly, sometimes I feel like I'm never ever going to be fluent in another language. But I really like it, I'm practicing, and you know, I have hope that I am going to actually be fluent in Spanish someday. I will not give up until I'm somewhat comfortable in it. And I also really want to learn French, and even if I can't get my brain to ever fluently be able to speak 3 languages in the same period of time, it's still on my bucket list. I still want to learn it. I also want to read every single book by Jane Austen. I consider myself a huge Jane Austen fan, but I actually haven't read that many of her books. Shh, don't tell. But someday, I'm going to read all of them. I also want to read every work by Oscar Wilde. I've read a lot already, but I want to read all of them. And I think I want to read every play by Shakespeare. I have a pretty good start on that one, but still, there's so much more. I also someday want to do a non-stop marathon of every single Lord of the Rings movie, maybe Hobbit, I don't know, but at least the Lord of the Rings trilogy, extended editions, all the way through, non-stop, except maybe like bathroom breaks, food breaks, whatever, but I mean, I can eat while I'm watching it. Okay, I want to do a non-stop marathon. Might have to spend half of it on the treadmill, because I don't want to sit for like however many hours that would be, but still I'm gonna do it. I also someday want to learn how to dance. I can't, I'm really bad. But someday, maybe I'll take a class. I've learned how to play a little bit of guitar and piano, but someday I really want to learn how to do them properly. Like really actually be able to say that I play guitar. Not I play guitar a little bit, but I actually play guitar. I also really want to meet J.K. Rowling. I just do. This might sound a little bit silly, but someday I would like to just sit with the person that I love and watch a sunset. Yes, I know, I'm a hopeless romantic. It's disgusting. But honestly, I've seen plenty of sunsets, I've spent plenty of wonderful evenings with someone that I love, but I've never put the 2 together and just, I don't know, I just want to live that hopeless romantic dream. I also someday want to have a last minute vacation. Like a couple days before, just decide, hey, I'm going to take off work, I'm going to take off and not work, not focus, not have to think hard, and just go someplace. It doesn't have to be that far away. It can be a couple hours drive, it can be a quick train to someplace, but just last minute decide, I need a break. And this is something that is actually really difficult for me because I tend to be a planner. I like to get everything organized. If I'm gonna go someplace, that's great, but I'll plan it a month in advance because the tickets are cheaper, because I can get a hotel if I need to, I can contact people, I can get time off of work, or I can plan around it and do my work before or after. Everything has to be on a schedule, everything has to fit. And someday, I want to have the guts and maybe a little bit of stupidity and just do something last minute. And maybe the last thing for now on my bucket list is I'd like someday to be able to call YouTube a part-time job. Right now, it's mostly a hobby. I've not made much money off of it. I have made a lot of connections, but not anything that has necessarily opened up career opportunities or anything like that, which is fine. I love it. And that's the reason I started, and that's the reason I continue. But someday, I kind of hope that I can spend a little more time into really building my channel, which will hopefully be actually pretty soon that I'll start at least regularly vlogging again, now that I'm a little more settled. But I really want to be able to put even more into it. And if someday it can become a part-time job, then I'll have more time and more resources to put into making it even better. So now I want to hear from you guys. What is on your bucket list? I really think that bucket lists are a good idea. I mean, you don't have to actually formally sit down and write down, extravagant things that you want to do before you die. But I think it's kind of cool to have goals, even if they're a little bit less likely or a little far-fetched maybe. I mean, some stuff may honestly be a little bit far-fetched, but if you want it, write it down. I mean, try for it. Maybe someday it'll happen. And for me, I like to think about what's in store for the future. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.